Before we get started, I would like to thank Full Playthroughs for allowing me to use their infamous gameplay footage. A link to their channel is in the description and will be on the video's end card. Sucker Punch is the developer behind the Sly Raccoon trilogy. I said trilogy, get that crap out of here. And when it was time for all the AAA studios to make their contractually obligated dark and gritty games for the PlayStation 3, Sucker Punch released Infamous. The game took the Jungle Gym style mechanics from Sly Raccoon and gave it a grimy coat of paint, a protagonist with a stick up his butt, and enough violence to get that sweet, lucrative M rating. Okay, I'm being a little hyperbolic. I actually love Infamous very much. The Jungle Gym aspect is well executed, the characters are fun, and the combat made you feel overpowered without being too easy. However, one aspect of the game that falls short is its dual morality system. While it isn't the first game to implement such a mechanic, it was the first I ever played that created such a distinction between the two paths. This dual morality system comes with the same problems that most dual morality systems do. It's utterly devoid of nuance. You can either be a heavenly saint from on high or an irredeemable agent of pure evil. While some evil decisions in Infamous come with gameplay advantages, like how you can avoid getting infected with tar by infecting civilians instead, more often than not your choices are do the right thing or do the evilest thing imaginable. For instance, there's a moral choice in your first substation, a dungeon you go through to get new abilities and restore power to part of the map. In this substation, a man stands in your way and blocks your path. He is guarding a gate because Reapers have his girlfriend and are blackmailing him to keep the gate shut. The good karma choice is to tell him that the Reapers already killed his girlfriend shortly after they took him, at which point he opens the gate having nothing left to lose. The bad karma decision is to kill him. I'm sorry, what? You just fry this poor sod with electricity through the gate and it opens up. The only reason anyone would ever kill this man over just telling him the truth is to retain their evil karma. Unfortunately, mixing your moral choices results in you missing out on the game's more powerful abilities. So once embarking on Cole's evil path, the pro gamer strat is to stick to it, no matter how daft the choices get. For those of you who don't know, I'm an avid trophy hunter on PlayStation, and Infamous is my latest platinum attempt. Latest platinum. Second latest platinum behind Infamous 2. God damn, I've been writing the script for a while. To 100% Infamous, I had to do an evil playthrough, which is why the absurdity of that route is so apparent in my mind. So many games with moral choices boil down to do you want to be good or evil, and it just isn't as engaging as some developers think it is. Bad Karma Cole isn't charismatic enough to pull off the I'm evil and I know it angle, but his choices are often too devoid of nuance to claim that he believes himself to be doing the right thing. So here's my question. Could Infamous's moral choice system have been better? Could it have been designed so that someone could genuinely argue in favor of the bad karma run the way that one could advocate for the Legion in Fallout New Vegas? Could it have been more than do you want to be good or evil? Obviously, given the existence of this video, my answer is yes, but the point is how. My answer is relatively simple, so I'm going to put it to you now and spend the rest of the video going through some examples. Instead of asking the player, do you want to be good or evil, the game should instead ask the player, will you strive to save everyone or become powerful enough to save most of them? Now, I'm still going to refer to the two paths as the good and bad karma run, partly for simplicity, but also because the second motivation will lead to Cole committing some nefarious acts in a ends justify the means sort of way. So we're removing the concept of a dual morality system and replacing it with a dual motivation system. Which motivation is the best one for your situation? For our first example, let's go back to the moral choice in the substation. Instead of the options being tell him the truth about his girlfriend or kill him, the choice should be tell him the truth about his girlfriend or lie about his girlfriend's safety. Imagine that in the bad karma run, you tell this guy that his girlfriend is fine, that you've defeated the Reapers that were holding her captive and left her somewhere safe. The only other change would have to be some kind of obvious and desirable advantage for doing this. Maybe telling him this lie will make the path to the end of the substation easier somehow. Perhaps he will be too devastated to open the gate if you tell him the truth, meaning that you have to find another, longer way around. Do you do the honourable thing, or do you say what you have to get the city's power back on quicker? Or let's try the previous moral choice. While trying to escape the city, good Karma Cole will fight the police on his own, and bad Karma Cole incites a riot so that civilians will attack the police alongside him. This moral choice wouldn't have to change in this new dual motivation system, it just needs a slight tweak to the framing. As it stands, the reason to get the civilians involved is to
help keep the heat off seeking me.
Instead, Cole can acknowledge that police will hurt some by getting civilians involved, but that there's a better chance that most of them will break through. Is it worth sacrificing some to ensure the release of others? Some moral choices will need to be omitted entirely, such as the first one. Do you keep the food that the government airdropped into the quarantine zone for yourself, or do you share it with everyone else? While sharing it would fall in line with good Karma Cole's save everyone motivation, keeping it for himself doesn't contribute to any motivation beyond being a selfish monster. Maybe the supplies could be medicine instead. You can let the civilians distribute it amongst themselves or take it by force to give to Trish, expecting that she will ration the medicine more responsibly. Speaking of Trish, how do Cole's new motivations align with the Spider-Man inspired moral choice between saving 5 doctors or saving her? This would only require a slight framing tweak. Saving the 5 doctors aligns with the motivation to save as many as humanly possible. But how can we justify saving Trish as falling under his motivation to protect what few he can? We could set Trish up as a cold doctor, calculating who she helps and who she doesn't. We can have her leave some people to die if she considers them a lost cause, but make it clear that she doesn't enjoy making those decisions, and still does everything in her power to save those who she can. Set up that the other doctors are trying to save everyone and using their limited medicine on people who die anyway. The choice will still boil down to, do I save the person I love or these 5 doctors? However, it would also come with an undertone of, do I save one person who will ensure that we have the supplies to save as many people as we can? Or do I save 5 people who will try to save everyone, possibly wasting resources in the process? We might not even need the twist that Trish will die no matter what choice you make. If you save the doctors, she will die. And if you save her, she will hate you for who you have become and leave. A moral choice that would require no change is what to do with the Ray Sphere, the artifact that awakened Cole's powers. Most of the mainline missions are about tracking this device down, and when you finally get your hands on it, you have 2 options. The good karma choice is to destroy it, ensuring that it can no longer damage the city or take any more lives. The bad karma choice is to activate it, killing about 1,000 people but gaining more power for doing so. Well, gaining 1,000 XP, which in the late game is about enough for half a Mars bar and a bag of chips. This moral choice wouldn't need to be changed at all because it directly asks the question, do you want to save everyone or be powerful enough to save most of them? This moral choice made me realize how much more nuanced the bad karma path could have been. Since Cole has already faced some powerful adversaries at this point of the game, one could argue that activating the Ray Sphere to gain more power is the right choice if the goal is to keep the city safe. On top of changing the parts of the game that are explicitly framed as moral choices, the gameplay should also more accurately reflect the choices you make in how powerful you are and how easy it is to do things. The best moral decisions in the game that reflect this are about the toxic sludge that the Reapers put into the town's water supply to poison people. In these quests, the good moral choice is to destroy the sludge pumping apparatus and get hit with some sludge in the meantime, blurring your vision and temporarily lowering your stored power. Or you can overload these devices, ensuring that some people will get sick, but avoiding the consequences of getting hit by the sludge yourself. I would take these choices a step further. I would make it so that an encounter always happens following the destruction of a pump, no matter how you do it. And taking the sludge head-on in the good karma option will drain all your energy and permanently take a power cell away, not only making the inevitable encounter harder, but putting you at a disadvantage for future encounters as well. Why do this? Because it will make the moral choice mean something more than good or evil. From a moral perspective, it's asking, do you take the easy road at the expense of civilians, or do you spare the civilians at the expense of your power and ability to fight? From a purely mechanical perspective, only the bad karma choice would make sense, meaning that doing the right thing would solely come down to one's moral compass, or the moral compass they reflect onto Cole through roleplay. An evil thing you can do in the game at any time is Bio-Leech, where you suck the life force out of a downed enemy or civilian to fully restore your power. There's also Pulse Healing, a good karma action that will heal down civilians, which doesn't give you anything but doesn't cost anything either. What can be done with these mechanics to integrate them into Cole's dual motivations? For starters, I would contrive a reason in the narrative that Cole can only Bio-Leech off civilians. This will force the player to make a choice. Bio-leeching is the quickest way to fill your energy meter outside of substations. So the question becomes, can I justify killing one civilian to take down a platoon of enemies that might otherwise kill even more? Healing pedestrians should also cost something, even if just a little bit of power. Again, this will grant a gameplay disadvantage for doing the right thing, making it a slightly harder choice. In a game that didn't arbitrarily force you to go all or nothing on one path or the other, this could also put you in a situation where you could kill one civilian through bio-leeching to save several more through pulse healing. Once the player moves on from the Reaper's territory, all bad karma side quests involve teaming up with them, whether helping them execute gang members of other districts or breaking them out of prison. Doing the good or bad karma side missions has zero impact on the story. Reapers will always attack you if you return to the first district, regardless of whether you've been helping them. There's even a line of dialogue that appears from the leader of the Reapers if you have negative karma, saying that she cannot control them anymore, so they're still going to attack you despite the help you have provided.
Why won't they obey me? That damn Hessler. But you'll show him, won't you?
My suggestion for how to change the gameplay around this is threefold. 1. Make it clear that the Reapers are more powerful than the police, the faction you help in the good karma side missions. Have the Reapers dominate in any fight the two factions might have, and a moral choice that comes down to whether you help the police because they are good, or let the stronger party win. 2. Make it so that aiding the Reapers will make them passive towards you in free roam and future missions, making it easier for bad karma Cole to get around the first district. 3. Create story consequences for helping or opposing the Reapers. Let's say you complete all the side missions before the final boss. There should be a phase of that fight where a platoon of Reapers show up. If you did the good karma missions and oppose the Reapers, they will focus their fire on you, becoming another obstacle for the player. If you did the bad karma missions and helped the Reapers, they will turn their attention to the final boss, distracting him for a brief moment while he grinds them into a fine paste. All of my gameplay suggestions keep coming down to those 2 points. That bad karma Cole's story should see him become more powerful and see him having an easier time dealing with adversaries. In comparison, good karma Cole should always be at a power disadvantage and do things the hard way. Why? Because a moral choice system should actually challenge one's morals. Beyond what you or your version of Cole believes is the appropriate course of action, it will also be a test of character, to see if the easy evil route is too tempting to take over the more challenging virtuous one. As it stands, the moral choice system in Infamous is primarily an aesthetic one. Beyond some minor plot points, the story will ultimately play out the same no matter which path you take. In this dual motivation system that I have discussed, Cole would always be conflicted. Bad karma Cole would wonder if he will ever justify his means by the ends he hopes to achieve, whereas good karma Cole will have to contend that people keep dying because he isn't as powerful as he could be. The best moral choice systems do not divide those choices into good and evil, but rather ask difficult questions of the player that have no wholly correct answers. As I mentioned before, Fallout New Vegas is full of these choices at almost every level. I also have plans for a video discussing one of my favourite moments from the Outer Worlds that asks a particular type of moral question in such a way that it retroactively throws shade at a similar choice in Fallout 3. The first Infamous's moral choice system has none of this nuance. It's a good or evil check at best and a blue or red lightning choice at worst, with only a brief glimpse at something that one could genuinely ponder. But I'm not entirely done talking about it. As I'm writing this script, I am gearing up to play Infamous 2 for the first time. I am playing Infamous 2 for the first time. I have platinumed Infamous 2. Seriously, I've been working on this script for a very long time. In another video, I plan to detail how that game handles its moral choice system and whether it does better or worse than its predecessor. And that is it for this video. I would like to thank Full Playthroughs for letting me use their infamous gameplay footage. I'd also like to thank my patrons, Orion Tran, Lars Aspen, Data52, Jaman5, Shark, Pixcalibur, Alberto Cruz, Tyler Bennett, Tenka, Jeremy Pashik, Fireclaw, and Soran. If you would like to support the channel further, please consider becoming a patron yourself. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.